So this is a repost of a video that I've already put online once, but YouTube decided to record over it, which I didn't even know was possible, but thanks YouTube. So I'm making it again, which maybe I'll make it better the second time. Hope so, because I really struggled last time. It's kind of embarrassing having that video online, so new opportunity. So let's go ahead and switch to my view. When we finished off last time, it looked like this. This is everything all together. I rehashed my zones views. I put in shading for my pavements. It looks like this. Okay. What I'm going to be showing you today is how to come up with a sheet that looks like this. Now you'll notice this doesn't show the pavements. It does have the sidewalks in there, but not the pavements. I like though the way the sidewalks look. Still has the lake in there, has the boundaries, and I did put in some dimensions to make it look all pretty. We're good to go. So I'll show you how to make that today, including these handy dandy little notes over here. Okay, so what we'll start with doing is I'm going to go ahead and create a brand new drawing. Right click on your layout tab, go to from template, navigate to your AutoCAD template. When you bring it in, it'll give you an option of do you want to import it with Ang sheet. Now you do that, brings it in, it looks like this. It has the title block down at the bottom, has the space up here. First thing you're going to want to do is double click on the title block at the bottom and adjust all of these settings. Now this is going to be the first page that we're doing. So click on the top attribute and change drawing name to general overview. Okay, second one, you're going to want to keep that the same. I am going to delete that. Don't do what I'm doing. There's an error on mine because I created the template. So just ignore the fact that I just did what I did. You're going to want to have class name put down at the bottom as fundamentals of design. Mine already shows up because my block definition apparently created a duplicate because I did it on my own system. For yours, it should be fine. Here, we are not going to be using inches as our unit. We're going to be using architectural units. So put that as arch. Scale, we're going to go ahead and define later. That's not going to be right now. As far as the initials, here I'm going to put my initials, CJS. You can put CJS, you can put your initials / somebody else's initials. Just make sure it isn't larger than the box. If that's the case, then I would use only first and last initials. And then sheet number. Here, I don't know how many sheets I'm going to have yet, but I'm going to type 1 because I know this is page 1. So I'll hit OK. And now if I look at my title block looks all official and very nice, which is what I want for it to be. The next thing you do is, before really bringing anything else, I'm going to go ahead and rename this page. Now I've already got one general overview, so I'm going to have to name this something different. I'll just name it one general overview with no spaces. Different. So now I have my sheet. The first thing you have to do on this sheet is this sheet does not have a viewport. A viewport is needed for you to be able to see what the model view is. So first thing you have to do is you have to go up to your layout tab up at the top. Go ahead and click rectangular. You can click insert view if you really wanted to. I'm going to click rectangular. And what I will do is I will insert a view that goes from the top all the way to the bottom. Okay. And if I click on that, it'll show up as a box. Now I do want to go and put this into the viewports tab first. That matters most. Now this is super gross. I can see absolutely everything, and I don't want to see absolutely everything. So what I'm going to do instead is, you'll notice right now I'm in paper space, which means I can select the block. I can play with anything I want to out here. I can draw lines over here. I'm in paper space. Okay, the shortcut to get to paper space is P space. You gotta remember that. I'm already in paper space, so get the message. You're already in paper space. If I double click inside of this viewport, it will transform me into model space or .m space. Okay, now I can directly affect the model. You gotta be careful about deleting things in model space while you're in a viewport. It happens all the time. It's kind of annoying. So you gotta remember, don't edit the model while you're in here. Try not to delete anything. Now, the first thing that we need to do is we're going to take this sheet here and try to make it fit. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to put this at a scale. So what I'll say is zoom, and what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to do zoom scale. You can either click on scale or you can type S, enter for scale. And then what I want is I want 1 inch to equal 100 feet. 100 feet is 1200 inches, so I want a scale of 1 to 1200. I go ahead and grab my calculator. Thank you for opening that up twice. Windows. You're a real pal. 1 divided by 1200 is equal to 8.333 repeating times 10 to the negative fourth. So when I go to put in my scale, I need 0.0008333 repeating. Okay, and what that means is I can now pan this, I can move it around, but I don't want to zoom in or out. What I will do is I will go ahead and put my drawing over here on this side, because I want the drawing stuff to be on this side, I want my notes to be over here, and I'm going to put my ordinate axis north, south, east, west down here in this corner. So that's it. Now I am currently in this viewport. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my layout properties. Okay, while I am still in model space in this viewport, go to layout properties. Okay, now I've expanded this. But there's a column here that's called VP Freeze. When you click on that, what happens is it shuts off that layer in that viewport. So I'm going to want to shut off all of the layers that I don't want. I'm going to keep 0. I'm going to turn off benches. I don't want benches. Keep boundaries. Turn off buildings, construction lines, depth points. I don't want any dimensions. I don't want any foliage, grass. I do want to keep the lake. No lights. I don't want any notes except for the notes that I'm going to write on the paper. I won't be able to see them in the viewport. I don't want... Well, I do want to see the pavement, but I don't want to see pavement. Oh, no, I don't want to see this one. I want to see sidewalks. I'm going to turn off play surface, turn off playground structures, turn off trees. Viewports, I probably won't have anything, but I can turn it off too. And then when I close, what you'll notice is it's a very clean view that only shows certain layers. The whole reason why we drew in certain layers on our drawing was for this reason, because you can shut off the layers inside of your viewports. And it gives you the ability to really see what's going on in a much cleaner fashion. So here I'm going to go back to P space. And now I'm no longer in model space, so when I zoom in, I can see very clearly what this looks like. I like it. It's pretty. It works well with me. That's nice. The next step of what we have is we're going to go ahead and we're going to create some dimensions here. So I'm going to switch out of my notes layer and go into dimensions. Click on dimension. I'm going to go ahead and dimension some of these lines. First dimension I like to do is corner to corner. Bring it up here. I'm going to want some space here because I'm going to put some dimensions underneath. Second dimension, it actually lets me dimension this line. So I'll go ahead and bring this up and put it about right there. And then I will do the same for this dimension. Go ahead. When I bring it up, I want to align it with that arrow. So those two arrows are on top of each other. It looks like one arrow. It's nice and clean. If your arrows intersect each other or your dimension lines intersect, you can stagger them, one up, one down, one up, one down. Mine just looks pretty like that. Dimensioning is more of an art than an actual science. There are guides on how to do it well, but not everybody does it well. So here's my dimensions. This is where I'm at right now. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on this side now. Click corner to corner, bring it over. It should be a 600 by 400 foot box. And you'll notice again, I am doing this in paper space. I'm actually doing these measurements in paper space. If you take any measurement and you suddenly get something like this is 4 inches, it means that you accidentally clicked, like if I were to measure from here to here, it's only 3.5. Yeah, it's because my paper space isn't exactly perfect. But if I were to measure from here to here, it gives me an actual inch measurement of how big that is. And I don't really want that. That's not what I'm aiming for. I do want the 400 feet, which if you're clicking directly on things that are shown in the viewport, it will give you that dimension. If you click on things that are outside of the viewport that are present on the paper space, then that's where you get measurements like 4 inches. So go ahead and measure this piece here, drag it out, about right there. I'll measure this piece down here. I'll go ahead and bring it up there. Now, one of the things about dimensioning that is really important, and this is true for everything, is I only give a dimension here that this is 260 feet and this is 100 feet. It's kind of implied that this fills up the rest of that space of 400. So I have 400 total space, 260 feet devoted to playground, 100 feet devoted to parking space. That other 40 feet, it's going to be a 40-foot dimension that is open space again. So as long as somebody could figure out what your dimensions are with math, you don't have to dimension absolutely everything. And sometimes that can make your drawing very cluttered if you put in too many dimensions. Here I'm only doing the baseline minimum of what I need. Now, one thing that I don't have dimension on this is I do not have dimensioned this lower space right here. So I will have to dimension not just how wide is my parking lot, but I'll also have to dimension how wide is this meeting space that I drew down here. You'll notice those are different numbers. Technically, this number I could figure out, and similarly, I could probably figure out this number too. 233 foot 4 inches plus 200 inches, you subtract the difference, that will equal 166 foot 8 inches. So, but you know what? Sometimes you do the extra dimensions, even though this one and this one you could figure out just by doing math on your own. Sometimes it's nice to put them in there just because you have the space to, and it doesn't clutter up the drawing. The drawing doesn't look bad with it in there, but it is nice to have them. Okay, so now that I have these, we're in a good place. Good stuff. I'm going to do something that's going to it's going to look a little gross, but I have to do this because I want to collect a sample of each of these hatches, and I want them to be appropriately sized, and I want to put them over here. As you'll notice, what I did for the other one, I just put them on the side there so that for reference I can figure out what those look like. You'll notice on this one I actually did do the 40 feet. I didn't dimension the parking lot here, but whatever. It's not one right way to dimension any drawing. As long as you can get all the information efficiently, effectively, and in a very clean fashion, you can dimension the way that makes the most sense to you. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to break this by moving this over 4 inches. Okay, yikes, what just happened? Kale, what are you doing, you monster? Yes, I know I'm a monster. I'm going to go ahead and copy this and bring it back over, and I will move it over 4 inches to where its original location was. You'll notice that this new one now no longer has the dimensions on it. Those are only present on the old one. I'm actually going to move this one over again about 4 inches. Oop. Move this one, enter, drag it over 4 inches. Okay, and now I have 2 viewports. One of them is over here, one of them is over here. I did not go into my model space in this. That's kind of important because if you go into your model space, it messes everything up. You have to hit undo a bunch to get back to your correct zoom scaling, or you have to go back in there, get the right zoom scaling again. It's just ugly. I don't want to do that. Instead, I'm just working with the same model, moved it over. Okay, I will now go into this, and I'm just gonna cut it down a lot. So that it only shows a very, very small piece of what I want it to. Okay, and it shows a piece of the lake. Now, I don't want the lake to show up, I don't want my sidewalks to show up, I don't even want my boundaries to show up. I really only want my hatch to show up. So I'm going to double click in there. I am now in model space. Oh, dang, I just zoomed in. Okay, we'll zoom into here. Drag this over real quick because I want it to be about right here. Okay, double click in here again. Now we will not zoom. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to shut off the remaining layers that I didn't turn off. Turn off pavement, I'm going to turn off lake, I'm even going to turn off boundaries, and I'm going to turn off 0. So the only thing that's showing is zones. Okay, when I hit the X button now, the only thing that's showing is that hatch, which is in the zone layer. So if I double click back out of it, I do have appears to be an edge in there, so I will pan over a little bit. And do that. You can make this window smaller, which would probably be a good idea on my part. I don't need it to be that huge to show off all that hatching. That's sufficient. So now I'm going to take this, copy it, and I'm going to make 4 of them total, because I have 4 zones. Okay, so there's my 4 zones. I will go ahead, double click into this viewport and pan over to a place in my parking lot that shows a nice view. I know I'm kind of cheating here by doing this. Double click out of it. Now I only have the parking view in here. Sometimes you might have to zoom in to get it. It's not always the best to zoom in, but if you have to, you have to. And then there's my parking space. So there's my open space, there's my meeting space, there's my playground space, and there's my parking space. Okay, now that I have all of these and I have them where I want them, I'm going to go ahead and move back the original viewport. I moved it over 4 inches. I can move it back 4 inches now. That's right in here. Now all 4 of these are now in my dimension, which I can move the dimension in a little bit. Just to get it out of the way, but I might have to also move over these 4 viewports just so that I can fit in the space. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a multi-line text box, which I'm used to doing M text because it used to be that T went for a multi-line text box, but now standard in AutoCAD is T does text box, so I should get used to using T. I'm going to go ahead and do it at this corner. I'm going to have it extend, I'm going to have it extend from here over, oh, come on. I need an extension line. Come on, there we go. extension line to there. Okay. Now, before I do anything, this text is going to be too large if it's at 0.2. So I'm actually going to change this to 0.1. And then I'm going to write zone 1, enter, and this is my open space. Okay, hit enter. Great, now it's located right next to that. I need to move it over, and I need to move it a little bit down because I kind of want it to be centered. If you just have it like this, it's not a very clean look. There's absolutely no space between my text box and my look. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it. I'll click a point, and then I want to move at 0.1 comma negative 0.1. Okay, what that'll do is it'll move it over 0.1 inch and down 0.1 inch. You'll notice that kind of centers it really nicely, so I'll leave it there. I'm going to go ahead and set this not in my dimensions layer, but in my notes layer. Okay, so notes shows up as black. So this looks nice. I will now copy this, and I'm going to do it from this corner here, and I'm just going to keep going down. Now you'll notice this nicely puts this right in the middle of each of these boxes by doing so. That's what I like. I'm going to go ahead and set this as zone 2. Zone 2 is my meeting space. You can make your text size smaller if you need to make it fit. I wouldn't make it smaller than about 0.08 because it starts getting very difficult to read after that, but changing text sizes is normal. Having a normal text size, I try to make all my text be about 0.1 to 0.125. Just very standardized. Okay, and then my zone 4, which is a parking space. Okay, so I have that all labeled now. I have this filled out. I do need to adjust the scale. My scale is 1 to 1200. That is the accurate scale. But more realistically, it's 1 inch to 100 feet, which is what I'm going to put in. Okay, so 1 inch equals 100 feet. Now, the only thing that I'm missing is I would like to put down here at the bottom just a little coordinate axis. You can do, if you just put it in here, it'll say X and Y. I'm going to do north, south, east, and west. So I'm in my dimensions right now. I might have to adjust that and change it to notes. I'll draw a line. Let's see, I'll make this 1 inch. Enter. Now in my OSNAP settings down here, I have the ability to grab midpoint, which is going to be helpful because I'm going to copy this from this point here, put it on this point, hit escape. So now I have 2 lines on top of each other, and then I'm going to select the top one just by clicking on it and rotate it 90 degrees. So created a nice little crosshairs there where all of these dimensions are equal. Okay, I will, now I'm going to, just for the sake of creating it, making it look nice, I'm going to create a circle that is 0.125 radius or 0.25 inch diameter in the center. And then I'm going to use my text tool and draw an N. This is now 0.2, so I'm going to change this to 0.1, select it, change it to 0.1. Yes, save my text changes. And then I'm going to zoom in on this thing, grab it, and drag it. There. So nice and pretty. Okay, and then I'm going to, because I already have that set up, I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Now when I do a copy, sometimes We'll select a little bit away so that it doesn't trigger my O-snap, because object snap can sometimes be a super pain in the butt. Also doesn't trigger polar tracking often. Love O-snap, but O-snap is sometimes the bane of your existence. So there's W, there's my E, there's my S. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this, select all of it, and put it on the notes layer. Okay, so I have my ordinate, my coordinates, I have my dimensions, I have my zone definitions. It's looking pretty good. I'm happy with this. I can figure out what this is. Just based off of this. And I can see some dimensions, some very general dimensions, etc. Now the next step of this is going to be to draw in details, add a few little structures in here, go in here, do dimensions, and fill out the rest of our drawing sheets, which that is going to take a little bit of time. It'll take a few weeks to work on that. So we will be doing that together as a class, and I guess whenever we get close to finishing, we will finish and then have our presentations. I would like to do that, I think it was the second week of March, but at this point, I don't think that's going to happen. So, well, we had a week where school got canceled and it's been slow trying to get everybody caught up in AutoCAD. So trying to take this reasonably and not overload you with work. I could hand you like 10 hours of AutoCAD videos on how to do this stuff. I just don't think that's useful for anyone. So here's your first drawing. I am going to go back in here and delete this one now. Okay, I don't need that layout anymore. And now that I have this, the important thing is I need to plot this. I have this. I need to turn this one into a PDF. If you just right-click and go to plot, this will only plot this one page, which is nice. You have to pick a printer, like here, Microsoft Print to PDF. It's going to hand it in as an 8.5 by 11 layout size sheet. I think I want it to be printed sideways. Yeah, print landscape orientation. You can hit preview. It'll show you what it's planning on printing. Here it should look like this. You'll notice that my viewports are gone because I set them to not print. So that's a good thing. This shows up. These shows up. There's no real grossness in how this looks. I do not have a sheet number for my total number of pages, which that's fine because I haven't made every page yet. This is just a very preliminary. By the end of this, you're going to want to go in here and get that actually done. You'll notice this does kind of shift this down to the bottom left corner. I do believe that it fixes that when it prints it. So I will close my print preview. Got everything going. And I'll go ahead and hit OK. You'll process and it'll say, where do you want to save this? Saving this to my general sheet, and I'll call this CJS Playground First Page. Okay, sends it to plotter, plots it, develops PDF. Let's see, does it automatically open the PDF? I'm not sure. Not really sure it printed either. Where did you plot to? AutoCAD PDF, high quality print. That might be the best. Probably should have done that one. Okay. You go into my. I don't know where it went. Oh, well, trying again. Go into my class. And got this. It automatically picks the screen name for it. Cross my fingers and hopes this one shows up. Oh, it does. Nice. And there it is. Now it did crowd everything in the bottom left corner, which I don't know why. Dang it. Probably need to make that. Ooh. Haven't seen this before. That's kind of annoying. Thank you, AutoCAD, for your automatically generated text. I'm going to try one more time plotting. See if... I'll go to high quality print. Plot the layout. I want to center it. I want to center it. It's kind of annoying. It also won't let me fit to paper. Well, I don't know why it's doing me dirty there, but oh well. I'll figure that out by the time we print the full drawing. As long as you just get a print and show me and hand that in, just that page, shows me that you've made progress, you've got pavement structures, you've got your zones all defined, you've got a dimension, you show what, in your notes, you show what each individual one of the zones mean, you have your north, south, east, west. As long as you have those, that's what I'm looking for. So that's it for this video. Make sure to get that done by Friday of this week. That is your week task. So